Live. We're going live. Max Freeman, we're going live. Greetings. Greetings. This is Uncle V, and I unapologetically cover Epic.tech, best crypto in the universe. Yeah, I said that, in the universe. I have with me Max Freeman, founder of Epic.tech, and as you can see by today's title, it says Anchor Bias, Meet Sunk Cost Fallacy with Epic.tech founder Max Freeman. We are going to unpack what is anchor bias and what is sunk cost fallacy. And I would ask each of you, before we do this, as a service to you and the greater mankind and womankind and zerkind and they kind, nah, not the last two, mankind, womankind, is we are going to ask you to hit that like button, subscribe, please comment, even if you're watching this after, go in, it takes you 2 seconds, but it's good for the algorithm. You know, once I broke through that 2,900 that I was at for 2 years, we're growing nicely. And I believe it's because people like you watching right now take the time to like and take the time to go down and comment. Please, not asking for much. Never ask you for anything except that. And then how about this? How about taking and go and doing the share and copy that, send it to a friend today and just say, hey, I think you might enjoy this. Especially if they are crypto curious or crypto savvy or knee deep in it, you know, but please do that. Thank you very much. And I want to do a couple of things just as a public service announcement. I want to acknowledge, oh, good Lord, Max, not again. Why on earth do I lose my mouse? I lose my mouse and I can't get over here to share my screen. There we go. Bastard YouTube. Okay, here we are right here. I want to let everybody know, if you do not already subscribe to Epic.tech, that's our official Epic.tech YouTube account. I'm just a talking head that unapologetically covers Epic.tech a couple times a week, 3 times, many times, like tonight. By the way, tonight, we are going to have a special guest, a major Twitter dude who is hailing from Cambodia, 7 p.m. Eastern time. Make sure you're there. Max and I are going to be speaking to this guy who is on a rampage regarding Epic.tech evangelism. He is amazing, and please come tonight at 7 p.m. Eastern time. So this is one of those bonus ones. Why do we do a bonus one? Why not just have him on at one of our Epic.tech lives at noon? Well, it's midnight over there. So we are kinder, gentler folks, and we accommodate our good, great guests. So please join us tonight. But I want you to see this over here. Rodrigo of Rodrick's Digital has started a series. It began with Enrique, and then Alex was yesterday. Taylor McCracken. So Rodrigo, or actually Max, you call him Rodo, right? Can you just share with the people who Rodo is?
Yeah, so Rodo or Rodrigo, he's the man behind Rodrick's Digital is his channel. He's a Brazilian guy living in Michigan who's been in crypto for, I don't know, a better part of 10 years, something like that. He's definitely an OG.
Here we have interview.
Go ahead before I.
Yeah, that's him. Yeah, we like sexy Latins here. As every time you know, beautiful studs like that go up on stage, we get like at least a 10% bump.
Look, tonight at 5 o'clock, Uncle V is dropping, but you'll notice Uncle V was not number one because I'm not a handsome Latin dude with no hair, with a shaved head, you know. And I can't grow that beautiful 5 o'clock shadow, Enrique. You pissed the rest of us off. But no hate. Okay, go ahead. I interrupted.
Yeah, McMurphy and I met in Miami in 2021, and we had a 3-hour lunch. And it was just amazing. You know, like girls walking by were so mesmerized, they would like bump into each other and spill drinks and stuff.
It's true,
Must be nice.
It's true.
Must be nice. Yeah. All
When
right.
when
Yeah.
I
So
grew up.
Rodrigo is the main man behind Dash Latin America. If you ask what the hell is Dash, I've never heard of it. Nobody uses it. Why is it worth $1 billion? And how was it worth 4 billion at one point? If you peel that back and look at how they got from basically nothing to a multi-billion-dollar success, really an inspiring story in many ways. And we're actually adapting the Dash code base for our ECRG treasury management system for governance proposals and stuff. So stay tuned on that. Rodrigo and I have known each other since at least 2019. We met at a conference in Vegas and stayed in touch. And he's been one of those like silent Freeman contributors behind the scenes, mainly, you know, contributing with a wet oar through a connection to me and me getting his input on stuff, particularly governance and Dash's experience for good and bad, helping connect dots. Hey, can you get me the number of this guy? Oh, wow, now I have his cell phone. And then we get some exposure or whatever. So he's been really, really helpful throughout. And when I say that we have a lot to prove, and as we grow, we're gonna merit the greater commitment and contribution and attention and focus and investment of time and people building skin in our game from increasingly high level, you know, knowledgeable people. He's a great example of that type of phenomenon at work. So he agreed a few months ago. We put this interview series together. I believe he's got 10 of them under his belt, something like that. If Rodrigo contacts you and asks to be interviewed for a time slot and you want to do that, please book with him. He's got his calendar link on there. He's really busy. He's trying to keep him at 15 minutes. It actually takes, yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead. Go. Let's blow through this. Let's not.
Okay. Yeah. So okay. Anyway, so if you want to get interviewed, talk to him.
Right.
But if you don't want to, then that's cool too. Okay. Let's
tell me about. Here he is.
Basically bringing community members, people that are connected to the Epic Cash community to
World of Warcraft. Where,
Okay,
you know,
Max, I saw this
genesis of,
and I was so impressed with this Al guy, and I'm like, why in the hell do I not know who is Al? And I mean, how does he know so much about Epic Cash? And where has he been all my life? Because man, he obviously, the dude is, I think he's been around crypto way longer than me. Tell us a little bit about.
So he is okay. So Freeman Ventures, EEA and Freeman Ventures have about 24 different things going to help expand the ecosystem. Obviously, exchange connectivity has been a major gap. Long story short, Alexander Mitchell works, or Al works for Shift Markets, which is the software provider for the free exchange service. Free exchange is a Binance or FTX, you know, Kraken style experience where the top 20 trading pairs will be tradable against E1, and then after that EUSD and EMPL and all our stuff. So basically, imagine our own Binance exclusively for Epic and focused on Epic, and it will be a free service with no commissions offered to Freeman Express clients. So free exchange, Alexander Mitchell, Shift Markets. He's been, I met him in Miami in early 2021, and he started buying. He's been dollar cost averaging with every paycheck since then, and he's in the six figures club.
Okay,
so yeah.
What is it? And so he kind of gave me the rundown of it. And
so this is Taylor McCracken.
Like
tell us about Taylor McCracken briefly.
You know, ever since then,
yep. So Taylor runs the website of Coin Bureau.
I mean, this guy came. I love capital LOVE. This guy, he is such an amazing human being, person, and I love the way that he came into Epic Cash. He came in with a lot of questions, but he didn't have any preconceptions of the answers, and he's just learned. And if you listen to Taylor's interview, you will realize why, Coin Bureau that has over 2 million subscribers, why they are very friendly to us. And the more he gets to know us, you just have to listen to this, everybody. And I just want to beg all of you, go here, like on mine, you can put notify me. There's Monkman. He's one of our amazing artists. And just listen to them. For me, when I introduce Epic Cash to people now, I'm going to link them to this series and say, just invest some time. Third-party validation is very powerful. And it's better that other people talk about how great Epic Cash is and what brought them to the table versus you or I talking about it when you're speaking to a friend, family member, colleague, etc. So Epic.tech, please subscribe, hit the notification bell, and that's just very, very exciting. I do want to say that my heart goes out to all of the XMR holders who are still living in their mom's basement. Because let's see, we got it. We were just informed yesterday that SpankPay adult industry crypto payment service is shut down. So again, heart goes out to the XMR holders still living in their mother's basement, because you no longer can use your XMR to be able to access the adult content. And, I just thought that was funny. So you know what, Max, before we get into the meat of today's live stream, I'd like to talk about what the IRS did. They have declared that non-fungible tokens, NFTs, are now deemed collectibles. So this literally is saying that if you own any of the NFTs, you are to be taxed on your holdings. What do you think about this, Max? This is a big deal as far as I'm concerned. The financial.
I think anybody that owns assets on a transparent blockchain has to get their head around the you will own nothing and be happy future. If you are a property owner, I've owned my home here in the United States for the past 10 years. Last year, my property tax went up 14%. Before that, it went up 7%. Before that, it went up 6%. I'm paying, I don't know, double, triple, or more what I was 10 years ago. And that they have an infinite ability to send me a bill with a higher number on it. And if I don't pay, they take my property, and lots of bad stuff happens. So there's no real way to work around it. So if you go back to early 2021, where it briefly caused a major stir on Twitter, this idea of unrealized gains taxation on your holdings. Imagine every tax time. BTC was 69,000 at the time, and I remember using the example. Okay, 3% of 69,000, you owe $2,000 per BTC that you own per year. Imagine how that's going to affect the price of that asset every April 15th, as people have to sell to meet the ongoing tax bite. So this is just another way of applying negative interest rates and wealth confiscation, financial repression. You really need to factor that into your calculations. Look
at this nonsense. Look at this. The term collectible means any work of art, any rug or antique, any metal or gem, any stamp or coin, any alcoholic beverages, any other tangible personal property specified by the secretary for purpose of this subsection. My God, let me just read to you that I harvested. There's a gentleman who
hold that thought. Sorry, because I think they are very prophetic, but don't move it. So any rug, like in crypto, we talk about rug pulls. I think now that your digital monkey JPEG that doesn't even store on-chain data, it's just a location to a Google Drive folder or IPFS. A lot of these NFTs that people are buying, they're like, wait a minute, my data is not on-chain. That's kind of what ordinals are all about. So I think this actually turns most NFTs into rugs, and the ones that it doesn't turn into rugs will turn into antiques but not in a good way, because, you used to think you could buy them and sell them and do all this stuff. And now you've just got this ongoing tax liability drain every year. May I remind people that before certain unfavored social groups in the Nazi regime of World War II were expropriated and then eventually liquidated, they were first forced to make lists of their property. How do you think they got all those wedding rings and candelabras and ultimately gold dental fillings? So everything old is new again. Continue.
All right. I just want to, there's a gentleman in our chats, t.me/epic cash, t.me/Freeman U. That's with a U, not a YOU. Really suggest you subscribe to all of those, to both of those. But there's a gentleman named Manhattan who is an amazing, very, very thoughtful, intelligent person. And he's the one that clued us in on this. But let me read to you what he said. He said, tax is extortion. Collection tax is an invasion of personal privacy. Tax basically is saying you bought this item with money that we tax, and now you still owe X%. If the item yields profit for the owner, they own the item at whatever the percentage of tax is. For instance, if you pay 40% in taxes per year, you are 40% a slave. This proves that you don't own anything on with on-chain data. The only things that you can actually own are things that are private/anonymous. Max Freeman, is Epic Cash private and anonymous?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so with that, we're just going to stop that. That's going to be a little bit of a mic drop. Hello, everyone in the chat. Welcome. Smash that like button. I'm going to do the same. We have 23 watching and 12 likes. So come on, people. Okay, Max, I need to set the table here, and let me first get my display working. Bear with me, guys, because I want to be able to look you in the eye. Yeah, here we go. Come on, teleprompter. Oof. Okay, I can see me. Okay, I want to set the table here. The name of this live stream is Anchor Bias Meet Sunk Cost Fallacy with Epic Cash founder Max Freeman. Now, why are we talking about this? Well, I am going to share something with you, and I'm not going to give any names, okay? The person who listens to this is going to know who he is because it's relevant. I read this in the chats, and I went to Max because he and I had a dear conversation. Goodness, Max, I think now it's definitely over 2 years ago. I think it's maybe close to 2.5, to where you went through my portfolio of 25 coins and we walked through asset by asset. And you took me through the exercise that you do to determine if you are in the right investable coin or token. And to give it away, everyone, after we went through that asset by asset exercise, and it was very painful because why? I had anchor bias, because I held sunk cost fallacy. So we're going to unpack what those are and why they are not your friend. And only when you understand the truth will you be set free. Okay, so there's this gentleman who claimed, and I know it's true, he had at one point in time $120,000 worth of pirate chain. Right now, because of the funding of Jeff Berwick, peace be upon him, his ranch, of which we're going to do a special video. Just honoring the fact that he has this 20,000 square foot ranch now, and on 10 hectares, thanks to the subscribers of TCV and the TDV. Anyway, during that time, there were many of us that got into pirate, and yeah, it went up to $15, but we bought into, somebody else's sell wall, and then it plummeted. It was that pump and dump. Well, now I remember having the conversation with you, Max. My entry point, my basis was 375 and 425. So let's call it $4. When we were having the conversation, Pirate was at $2. And I told you, I said, I know it's going to go back up. And so I want to make sure, I want to at least give it time to be able to get past my basis, past $4, and then I'm going to pivot into Epic Cash. That's when you shared with me the notion of anchor bias and sunk cost fallacy. Let me share. I'm setting the table here, everyone. Now Pirate is down. It went down to like 29 cents. I think it's still hovering around 30 cents. So that 120,000 my friend had is now worth just $3,000. And he stated in the chats that he was not selling because he was waiting for it to go back up. So Max Freeman, with that as the table set, can you please educate us on why that may not be a sound investment decision, even though it hurts being down, gosh, what is that, 98%?
Yeah. This is always so painful, especially when it's somebody you care about. So for additional context, actually here, let me set my timer because or else we'll be here till 10:45. So all right, there we go. It's running. Okay, so right now we got to update this. I say 300, but it might be pushing 400 now. Our Freeman family of community members that are doing stuff. Thank you to everybody who is really stepping up. The amount of energy is unlike anything I've ever seen. So if you're listening and you want to help in any way, reach out to me and we can plug you in. So people have a lot of conversations with people in the chats, videos, jams, let's talk Epic every Saturday, things like that. And so I'm getting like hundreds of messages a day of people sharing those experiences and going, hey, this guy said this, what do I say? How would you handle this? And so on. Freeman U is a great resource. And so I got forwarded a screenshot of somebody that was talking with this individual who actually has a very wet oar, and I hope they get this memo. It's painful to acknowledge that we've lost. So there's not just anchor bias, but there's also not wanting to face unpleasantness and hang on to hope. And so I got to get this screenshot of these guys that were talking. I think it was about a month ago, and the figure was at that time that they were down from 120 grand worth of Pirate to $3 grand or something like that. And so I put this together to say, okay, at that time, I believe I just used the figure of 8,000 coins. I don't know the specific number. It was just $3,000. Pirate was 41 cents at that time, now down 18% to 36 cents. And Epic has gone from 70 cents.
Hey, Max, Can I ask a question? Are you sharing screen?
Yes.
Can you stop sharing just for 1 second, please? Only because thank you. Because I had technical issues and I lost my share screen. So that gives it back to me. Okay. Share again. I'm sorry.
All right.
Just want to be able to see you do your magic.
Yep. Okay.
Thank you. Beautiful.
All right. So at that time, Epic was 70 cents. And we have since spiked to $1.60. You can't actually even buy it for that. So for those of you that are watching the screen constantly and saying, like if you just go here to CoinGecko, and this is all you see. A lot of people show me their screenshots, and I mean, especially in real life, like I'm really curious what people always look at, and it's just a complete focus on this. It's like that's the only number that matters. But then you really dig in here and you go, okay, well, how did this break down? I mean, here it was pretty evenly spaced out, but sometimes there's these huge spikes in volume. So here, most of the action happened in this range rather than up here. And so if you go to look at the market right now and you say, what can you actually buy right now? Like if you want to buy, what is that? If you want to buy 1,500 coins, you're going to push the price up to almost like, what is that, 180. or something. So
Right.
this number here of 158 is really really deceiving. It's important to look at the imbalance between buy and sell.
Explain
right
this
now,
to us. Yeah, I mean, literally treat me like I'm in second grade and explain this.
all right. So right now, like if you look at CoinGecko, the last printed quote is 5,495 sats. So when you if you're in first grade, you think about dollars, but by the time you get to second grade, you think of sats. And then as the BTC price fluctuates, so the price of BTC over the past 90 days has been as low as 16 and change, and as high as 28 and change now. So if we held steady in sats, now let's look at Epic over 90 days in sats. So if we stayed steady in sats at around 2,000, then we would be up, what is that, 50% in dollars, just because of the exchange rate of USD related to BTC going up. Make sense?
No.
Okay. So see here how we were just steady
Yeah.
for weeks and weeks at around 2,000 sats.
Yep.
Okay. So if we stayed at 2,000 sats instead of going up to 5,500,
Okay.
then over that same time, we would have experienced a corresponding rise in dollar price, just as BTC did.
Oh, just staying at 2,000 sats.
At 2,000 sats. So why did we kick ass even more than BTC in dollars? So look, we started in dollars, and then boom, we outperformed by dramatically. If I were one of the guys that like went on YouTube to charge $10 a month for my training videos, I'd be drawing lines on the chart from here to here. And if you look at the ascent, this is a steeper curve, the blue than the orange. So we get two sources of win or of appreciation in base fiat currency. We get we get our ratio in sats, which can improve, because currently we're at about 15,000 Epic coins to 1 BTC. Before that, it was 25,000. Before that, it was 50,000. Before that, it was 100,000, 200,000, 300,000, 500,000. There was a point where you could get 1 million Epic per 1 BTC. That was our all-time low. And then now you can only get 14,000. Eventually, many people believe, and I am inclined to agree with them, that the ratio is eventually headed to 1-to-1 and even beyond, because the effective supply of BTC is over triple the supply of Epic at around 50 million versus 16 million.
How is that? Because they're only at 21 million.
So there's 19.2 million that exist on the network, and that is how many actually exist based on the private keys and public keys and UTXOs. Like if you ask the nodes, they will say these addresses own 19.2 million coins. Okay. But if you ask all the people, like if I punch up my KuCoin account and you punch up your Hotbit account, and then we compare that to these guys, fund, and these guys' balance sheet and so on. Like, how GameStop, like the reason that the Wall Street Bets thing happened was because they discovered that Wall Street was shorting 130% of the outstanding float of GameStop shares. Wow. So basically they have what's known as T+2 or T+3 settlement. So if you trade today, they can't get the paperwork matched up in time for 3 business days. And then they play the float and do all this manipulation with options and futures and arbitrage and stuff. So they were exploiting that to actually print more negative shares to go naked short and try and profit from this company. They thought they were going to go bankrupt. So there's between 44 and 50 million coins that are showing up on people's account statements due to excessive financialization.
To dumb it down so that all understand it, let's say that you and I are both keeping a Bitcoin on Coinbase. It is not out of the question that the coin that they are quote unquote selling me as an IOU, they're selling that single coin to both you and me. So it seems we would say that we each own one, but we don't, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. And that happens multiple times. So let's say, and not everybody fractionally reserves, or at least they claim not to. Usually it's like look, like letter of the contract, we don't fractionally reserve. Like FTX, if you read their documents, they weren't supposed to be able to do what they did, but they did it anyway. It's like the Bill Clinton thing. Let's call the word is, it depends the meaning of the word is,
Right.
and they get it over here, not over there. So not everybody's doing it, but you can't really survive any other way. And so like especially there's about 1,000 centralized exchanges, like mini Binances, that are out there with their niche, and they all lend it out. So if I'm a hedge fund and I want to speculate on the value of BTC going up, what I would do, instead of buying the coins, I would just borrow them from an exchange. And so let's say I borrow 100,000 BTC and I owe you 8% interest. Three Arrows Capital, that was their business. Alameda Research, Digital Currency Group is in big trouble. Grayscale and Genesis and those guys. Major bankruptcies. Celsius, Voyager, things like that. So when you include the multiplier effect of I have these coins and then I lend them to you, then you lend them out. And then I write, this doesn't even include the options and futures and GBTC and other derivatives. This is just like directly observable, like first order effect. This data comes from Chris Sullivan, one of the partners at Hyperion Decimus, who we're probably going to work with on the EDH fund. He did over 1 million on-chain transactions in 2022 and was the number 1, 2, or 3 market maker on the top 10 exchanges in the world. So he definitely knows his stuff. And he said it's business critical for him to know what they're doing on that. And he commissioned the research that got the figure of 44 to 50 million. Now,
Wow.
our figure is 16 at the network layer. So they have 19.2 million coins. We have 16 million, but we have 0 financialization, 0 fractional reserve. We've audited VGate multiple times. That's not their business model. They're not doing any shenanigans, and we aren't either. So we're about 3 times as scarce. 1 BTC is 28,000, and we have 1/3 the effective supply.
Great.
That's
All right.
84,000.
Okay, let's get on to the
Okay.
to the table that is set.
Yep. Okay. So even just in that month, this person's $3,000 would be about $7,000-8,000 right now. So
Well, let's
in a month,
instead of just saying it, because we're looking at something and it can be confusing. Why don't you anchor that with, teach us what the spreadsheet is so that we can.
Okay, perfect. So we're starting with value. I just used the figure of 8,000 coins.
Okay.
When it was when we talked, it was 41 cents, and that would have been $3,200 at the time. I just made it 8,000 just to make the math easy. Of like, imagine staring at your portfolio and you have a nice round number of R. So 8,000 times 36 cents. That's their price right now. Is a current value of $2,850.
All right.
So if you took that $2,850 and you bought Epic with it, you can get actually would be E2 divided by D2. Yep. So you could take those 8,000 pirate coins and buy 1,803 Epic.
Okay.
To match that same $2,800. Okay?
Got it. Yep.
All right. So then the market cap of pirate.
Stop. So that is, let's take out the emotion of pirate, and let's just instead think that I have $2,848 in cash right now that is discretionary and I want to invest it. So my decision right now is there are 2 privacy coins. I could get 8,000 pirate. That sounds pretty damn good versus only 1,803 Epic, right? So there's a little bit of, I don't know
Unit bias. Unit bias.
Unit bias. Okay, thank you. So unit bias, beware of that as well. Okay, continue.
All right. This person could have gotten over 3,000 Epic 1 month ago, and now they still have the same 8,000 Pirate that they used to, but they are only able to get 40% less Epic. Think about that for a second. The amount of precious Epic that you can get is down by 40% in a month. You want to talk about inflation,
Wow.
dilution of your purchasing power? That is that. But let's look over here. So Pirate is still valued at $70 million. We're
Yeah.
only 25.
I
Right.
remember when we were 3 million. Wow. I love that number.
Yeah. And when we were 3 million, Pirate was like 400 or 500 million.
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So we've 10x and they've gone down 80%.
Wow.
Yeah. And that's the other thing is just because something is down 90% doesn't mean it can't go back down or go down 90% again.
Right.
And then again. And again.
And would that be the anchor bias, or would that be the other one?
Sunk cost fallacy.
Okay, so tell us what sunk cost fallacy is.
Okay, so when you and I first talked, and you said I have this $4 cost basis in Pirate,
Yes.
and it's only $2 now. I'm going to wait until it goes back up to $4, then I'm going to sell it. So you were looking in the rear view based on your experience of being involved emotionally with your investment. And you weren't thinking of it from the perspective of somebody that says, I have $1,000 that I want to buy a crypto to improve my wealth over the next couple of years.
Right.
I have 22,000 coins to choose from. Which am I going to buy? And so you weren't saying, why would somebody buy a $2 Pirate? Why is it worth $2? Why is it worth my $2 instead of buying BTC or Tether or Ether or any one of 22,000 other great investments? That's not even including NFTs and all this other stuff. So there's no shortage of choice. You were just saying, it'd be great if it went back to $4 so I could dump it and not have to admit that I lost.
Exactly. It was painful to think I lost that much money.
Yeah, but imagine if you didn't. I mean,
I would be
you'd be down 95, 97%.
In the phrase that I'll never forget that you shared was "Don't catch a falling knife," and and I think about that all the time. So I think this is going to be one of the most important live streams that we've done because. Look, everyone, I always say this, I never tell you to do anything that I haven't done. I'm only sharing with you this experience of going through this very painful exercise myself, so I can empathize with sunk cost fallacy. Let's talk about. Go ahead.
You know why I know so much about this? I don't show my hands on camera because I don't even have beyond like the first knuckle. I just have little stubs. Yeah.
Well, okay.
My fingertips are all on the floor from catching falling knives.
Yeah. So we have we now understand sunk cost fallacy. Why don't you tell us about anchor bias?
All right, so anchor bias is this idea that okay, so let's look at the history of Pirate. So I talk to a lot of people still that say, well, the thing fell apart and like blah blah blah, but I still made money because I got in so early. So let's look at the history.
Hey, by the way, stop right there. Because this is going to be relevant. Does everyone see that pump right there? That was what funded Berwick's ranch and bunker on the heels of his subscriber base. I participated in that, as did many watching, I'm sure. But I just want to be very, very clear because he was talking about on his recent video, well, what do you mean? I mean, if you go back to the very beginning, Max, and then go to the end, and what he's saying is, what do you mean I'm a pump and dumper? And I think he was directing that at me. He was saying I was suggesting it at 3 cents or something, and now it's 30 cents. So
yeah. Very disingenuous. So karma's a bitch, and I hope it was worth it. But this is like, I don't even have words to describe how evil and low vibration this is. So let me take you through it. So on this day, Friday, 23rd of April, 2021, the volume was $91 million.
Yes. Yep.
So 91 million. The day before, 31 million, 11 million. Like,
Can I tell you, my wife's birthday was on the 21st, and I had bought in at my $4, and at the top there where it was $15, you know, I remember the restaurant we were at, and I was looking down, and I was just very, very pompous and arrogant. And I'm like, well, I wonder how much
I'm a genius.
How much money we're gonna make by the end of this dinner, honey. And I kept showing her my block folio.
Yeah, refresh.
It was amazing. And then because I was believing Jeff and TCV that this was going to go to $50 to $500.
He was talking about 1,000. So there's a video, Doug Casey and
5,000.
Doug Casey and this other guy, I can't remember. I should pull it up and add it to the list of links of stuff like this that gets sent around. This is his business model. So on that day, I actually met Doug Casey in person twice at Freedom Fest over the years. I talked to him for 20 minutes at his booth, and we talked all about it. He's kind of tough to reach, and I haven't connected with him. I'll probably see him at this year's show, but I felt really bad for him because he on that day when Pirate was $15, the market cap was 2.4 billion on that day, and Berwick was telling this nice 70-year-old man that he should expect 1,000x return on his Pirate. And I did the math, and I was like 2.4 trillion. He said it's going to be the new world reserve currency because nobody was going to have to pay their taxes because you can't penetrate the zero knowledge math, which is actually ridiculous because it's just a quadratic equation. And, you know, like if you know anything about that, like it's ridiculous. But he bought it, and I think he put in 50 grand or something, thinking that it's 50 grand was going to turn into 50 million on that 1,000x. Well, his 50 grand is now worth $1,000 or something. And Berwick and his cronies extracted tens of millions, if not hundreds of millions, from people like you through that atomic swap. Well, you should have done your homework. And so what he's very disingenuously saying is that if you go back here to like the very early days when it was 3 cents. Okay. Well, this network was launched as a test net where the developers said, do not mine this because we're going to restart the chain. A single Antminer Z9 that was obsolete for like Zcash, the only coins that use Equihash are this and that. A single $800 device mined like 30% of supply.
Wow.
Okay. So the supply of Pirate, this is also what you got to look at. The supply of Pirate is 195 million.
Wow.
On its way to 200 million. So it is, what is that? 98% emitted.
Yep.
Okay. Now Epic is only 21 million. So we're 10 times as scarce.
Right.
All right. And we also have a much more fair distribution. We are 3+ years in, and we're only 76% out. They put out 76% in the first few months when they were telling people that it was a test net and we're going to reset it.
And so they never reset it.
They never reset it.
Wow.
They never reset it. And then they went back and scrubbed the posts on the forums. They doctored the chats. They like threatened and fudded, you know, people, like the censorship thing. You can't talk about it. The only reason I know this is because somebody who was really burned and pissed off went to archive.org, the Internet Archive, and pulled up all the old, you know, stuff, and then did expose articles. So when Berwick says that he recommended it at 3 cents, okay, well, first of all, the volume was only 16,000 that day versus 91 million 2 years later in the pump phase. Look at how far ahead this theft was engineered.
Wow.
All right, 2+ years, 2+ years. I mean, if you were planning a bank robbery for $100 million, I think that's worth 2 years of
Yeah.
preparation.
Yep.
But you know, a lot of people are in on it. You know, this was just brazen fraud. So yes, it is still temporarily at 10x what it was 2 years ago, but these guys have already sold out 100 times, 1,000 times their
Yeah.
position.
Yeah.
But the other thing is, and I won't belabor this point, but if you look at they're printing still 110,000 volume, which is completely fake, because you go to, you know, buy or sell, you can only get $47 on Trade Ogre. You can only get $158 on Gate.io. So they're using their prior gains to pump and support the market through a market maker. One of our crew did an analysis that it costs them about $25,000 a month to run this thing, so it doesn't fall apart. Okay, because if they didn't do that, this thing would be under 10 cents.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so we have, I just want to say that we have 10 minutes, and I have a hard stop because you and I both have a 1 o'clock we have to be on. So let's finish this exercise. And I want to know why this person should take the $3,000 that he still has and pivot it into Epic. And how can that $3,000, how can he make up for his colossal loss?
All right. So I'm not going to take time to go on mute, so you'll just have to endure my clicking.
problem.
So let's say 1800 Epic. All right. So let's make that green to focus on it. So instead of sitting with 8,000 pirate, you pivot to 1800 Epic.
Okay.
All right.
Yep.
So let's say so now you have 1800. I'm actually going to say that you would only get 1500 through conversions and stuff, because you can't, you know, you can't get 36 cents for your pirate, like, you know,
Right.
depending on how much you have, and then converting from USDT, BTC, market moves, whatever. So let's just say that
That's
once
fair.
you take the hit, you're only getting 1500 Epic.
Okay.
All right. So let's say now that the Epic goes to pirate market cap. Okay.
All
So
right.
we're going to go from 25 million to 70 million.
Okay.
So when we go to the market cap of pirate, you are now at 4,100. Okay.
Okay. Well, for this exercise basis should be 2,848.
Okay, sure. All right, so you're in the green, 1,300 when Epic goes to the market cap of pirate.
Okay.
All right, so then let's say that we go to the market cap of XMR.
Yep.
All right, so XMR market cap is 2.8 billion.
All right.
All right. I usually have McMurphy do or Todd do my spreadsheets, so you got to bear with me.
Yep.
Okay, so when we go to the market cap of Monero, not if, but when, you will have $166,000.
Mm-hmm.
So think about that. Instead of having 8,000 pirate, you have $166,000. That's when we get to the market cap of Monero. What's the next stop after Monero? Litecoin. People think Mimblewimble, they think Litecoin. Okay. We've got 5.8 billion here. What did I do wrong there? Oh. What am I doing wrong there? Divided by G2. I'm retarded today. I don't know. Divided by market cap should be right. G2 divided by, I'm just going to do this over, sorry. All right, so when we go to the market cap of Litecoin, your $2,800 basis goes to 349,000.
Hodl,
Make
hodl,
sense?
hodl. Yep. How about BTC?
All right, so let's do BTC.
Final BTC. We have 3 minutes.
Yep.
4 minutes. So the person who this is for, I hope you don't mind. I'm not using your name, but I care about you. So that's why I wanted to be able to have Max do this on my show. Don't take our word for it. Do the math yourself. But I think this, it's right in front of you. We're not playing any games, but this is the exercise he took me through.
Easy once you know how. Okay, so 33 million. So you're 2,800 when we, not if, but when we go to parity with BTC and using the $28,000 price of BTC, which could be higher or lower. I think considerably lower. So this is probably over optimistic, but your $3,000 is not $3,000. It's potentially 33 million. So
but what if it took like 5 years to get there, Max? Gosh.
Yeah, God, that'd be, who could even wait that long?
I'm joking, everybody. But those of you who check the price every day, right, and you start freaking out, just play long ball here. Look at this. I mean, if you believe in the project, if you believe in the 500 hours that I've presented and how transparent we are, and if you're involved and you're putting your own oar in the water, you know that this is not fantasy here. And so, think long-term, think 5 years out, right? I believe within 5 years, we will be at parity with BTC, if not sooner. But, that's just me.
Yeah. And then to put it the other way, and I know we got to go here, but for your where would Pirate have to go to? Where would Pirate have to go to? Let's say F10. Where would Pirate have to go to match the performance of Epic at that time? So how realistic is it? Epic just has to go to the market cap of Monero to get you from 3 grand to 166 grand. All right. For for Pirate to do that same 3,000 to 166,000, it
Mhm.
would have to go $58.45.
Okay.
So how likely is it that Pirate is going to go to
With,
$58.45?
with no development, by the way.
No,
There-
no development, and Berwick and Co. are not shilling it anymore. So is it going to really go like 4 times higher than it was in the height of the boom times? Like
Right.
that would take like billions of dollars in daily volume trading to
Okay.
do that. Like
Yeah.
that's not going to happen. So a Pirate would have to be $58, $122, which is even more unrealistic, or $12,000 a coin. So like now I'm gonna say like I don't know this person, maybe you can get through to them, but there is a 90+% chance that we will talk to them in 6 months and they will still have the 8,000 Pirate. So I hope,
Right.
for your sake, whoever you are, mystery man, that you pick up what we're putting down here, sending out with love, because it's entirely avoidable. You can be a millionaire, or you can have just yet another teachable moment.
Yeah, so that goes out to, okay, thank you. You can stop screen sharing. That goes out to everybody, everybody out there who holds Pirate, Monero, BTC. Just take a look at this lesson. I hope you enjoyed it. We do have to run. Thank you very much. And we will see you tonight, 7 p.m. tonight. Please, please come join us. We're going to be interviewing a gentleman from Cambodia. His name is Jeff, and he is an all-star Twitter dude. It's going to be really exciting. Max will be joining me. So 7 p.m. tonight. All right, everyone. Until then, cheers. Max, hang in there.